What's it like being an entrepreneur? You know, a lot of people see my lifestyle and they're like, wow, Kris, the world travel, the big houses, you know, everything that you get to do, but they don't see the sleepless nights. They don't see the hard work and the heartache. They don't see the moments when I've lost $1 million. And I've picked up some lessons along the way. Today, I want to share with you from all my years of experience, the 7 musts of being an entrepreneur.
Won't you follow me into the jungle? Ain't no God on the streets in the heart of the jungle. Won't you follow me into the jungle?
Some people think that being an entrepreneur is like owning a business. What most people never realize is that it is bigger than that. It's all encompassing. It invades every area of your life. It invades your spirituality. It invades your relationships and your families. And a lot of people don't understand that you have to get so emotionally obsessed and connected to actually have an opportunity at success, because I've lost money. I know what that heartache feels like. I know what losing friends feels like. I know what it feels like to have body bags piling up and wondering, is it me? Am I the one that's created this? Or also when someone has tremendous success and you played a hand in it, is it you that really made that happen? Today, I want you to understand that being in entrepreneurship is the most challenging and most difficult thing I've ever done in my entire life. And there's no guarantee that if you follow any of my advice in this video, that you'll be successful. There's no guarantee even for me. But I will tell you that my journey has yielded 7 extraordinary principles that has helped me fall in love with being an entrepreneur. And I'll tell you, there's no other way for me. There's no way you'll put me back in the box. It's been opened. I'm out there. And if you want to have it all and live in an amazing, incredible life, and you're okay with failing to have even just a shot at getting there, this video is for you. The first must is that you have to have a method to your approach of doing business. Just like there's a Socratic method for how you question everything. In business, it's not so simple as just starting a business or buying a business. You have to start with the end in mind. And for me, the end in mind always means that whatever I'm doing in the beginning is not what I'm doing at the end. My goal is within 4 months of whatever I'm starting to always have it handed off to a bigger, better, smarter team that can actually run with it responsibly. So in other words, for me, being a successful entrepreneur means that my job is to start the party. So you've got a business idea. Now you need to test its veracity. Is it gonna live? Is it gonna die? I do a 30-day experiment. That's my rule. Not 90 days, not a year, 30 days. And I ask myself, this idea in 30 days, what should it be able to produce? And in 30 days, it needs to produce at least half of what I thought was possible. If it can, it's likely a good idea worth pursuing. If not, I'm taking it out to pasture and I'm gonna put it down. Now, if I have an idea that survives the first 30 days, then I'm gonna take the next 90 days and I'm gonna work on decoding it, understanding it, mastering it. I'm gonna put metrics in place. I wanna understand how this thing works, because guess what happens after 90 days? I am doing the 3rd step, which is handing it off to somebody else to run. And at that point, my job now is to be an owner and not an operator, because I never want to get stuck in my own business. I have the end in mind. I have the exit in mind. I'm now building a company and I have time to think about it because I'm not stuck in the weeds actually doing the business. That is my number 1 must. You have to have a way of testing your idea, and that's how I do it. My second must as an entrepreneur is I have to have a healthy margin. And margin is basically, of all the money you collect, of all the gross revenue, what do you get to keep? Most companies function on a really tiny margin. And for me, those companies aren't even worth having in the first place. Part of how you get to a good margin, American Express talked about this in a recent business article, and they talked about having frugality as one of your rules of business. Right now in my business, I'm only spending money if I believe I'm gonna get an ROI, or a return on investment. I'm gonna get something for spending that. Now, you need to understand something. Frugality in business does not equate to frugality in my lifestyle. I mean, you guys know that I like to have a fantastic lifestyle, but I expect my business to have really awesome margins. I expect it to make me a lot of money, because this is a game and I want to win at the game. And if you want to win, you need to have a healthy, respectable margin, and you need to protect it with frugality. My 3rd must for the entrepreneur is that you have to value what you sell. When you're brand new to business, when I was brand new, I was scared. I was scared of what I was selling. I was scared of the value proposition. And as a result, I wanted to keep lowering the price until I could feel comfortable and feel good. And the reality is, if I don't value what I'm offering, other people can't do that either. You have to believe in that. But even more important, the product, you have to believe in your customer. Because your goal is not just to sell. Your goal is to actually create a raving fan. It's to produce a customer that is thrilled. For that to happen, you have to make sure that your value proposition of whatever you're offering, if it's a product, if it's a service, is in alignment with how you feel about it. That way you're not allowing your own emotions to get in the way and cause you to tear down. I remember that I started an amazing hot product offering years ago in real estate for $1,000. And oddly enough, I didn't sell very many units of this service. And we decided after a year that we should raise our price significantly. I increased it 500%. You know what started happening? More people started buying it than ever before. People were waiting for the value proposition to match the value. That was something I was scared of. So never be afraid of what you're selling and represent the true value. My fourth rule of being an entrepreneur is not attractive. I believe that you should do the hard things first. Admit it, every day you wake up to a list of what needs to happen. I gotta send this email out, I gotta design this thing, I gotta create this thing, I gotta do this thing. And the reality is when we prioritize things, some of us are just used to doing the easy things first and the harder things later. And you know what? When the day gets long and the list is long, guess what doesn't get done? The hard things. If you wanna know the difference between a struggling entrepreneur, 88% of them literally are making $46,000 a year as a solopreneur. 2% are making over $1 million. I think the number one difference between them is that the millionaires do the hard things first. And that's my rule. You know, there was a time in history when they decided to build the Panama Canal to basically, bifurcate North and South America. Ships before were taking months to travel all the way around, and they finally did this hard thing. They put in this massive canal, and it cut months off of trips. It saved all sorts of money for the future. And I don't even know how many times it's paid for itself, but everyone is benefiting from the Panama Canal today. In your business, your biggest benefits will come when you develop the discipline to look at your list, ask yourself what's hardest, and do it first. Let me tell you about one of my Panama Canals. I had spent the last year building this fantastic team, and one of my employees was literally creating this incredible level of value. But then they did something dishonest. And I knew in my heart that I needed to fire them. But honestly, I was looking at the value they were creating and I felt caught. Did I want to ruin this relationship? Did I want to start over? Did I want to feel like I was really starting from scratch? And the right thing to do was honestly to move on. But that was a difficult choice for me to make. And I remember once I made it, it felt really horrible, but at the same time, it felt really good because it was the right thing to do. In fact, some of the most difficult moments for me in entrepreneurship, like moments where I just want to throw in the towel and say, I'm done, I'm out, I never want to do this again, frankly, has come down to personnel, like dealing with people, real human beings, those that want promotions that don't deserve them, those that should have been promoted earlier, people that are creating all this amazing value, people that are being takers instead of givers. It's not been easy, but it's also been super worthwhile to learn to get to a level where the team can really come together and produce something 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times bigger than I ever could on my own. The fifth must, pivot. You have to know when the time is right to pivot your business. You know, in business, the world with technology is changing so fast that if you don't keep up with it, if you're not staying on top of things, if you're not developing your company, someone else is going to come in and create more value than you. And so you've got to figure out how to stay on top of things. We recently had this massive pandemic occur. And you know what the biggest problems produce? The greatest opportunity for value exchange, the greatest solutions. We came in and literally grew our company double. And now we're in the mode of doing it triple. And all of that came because of problems. Whatever problems you're facing, I want you to understand that cheesy quote of, problems are opportunities in disguise. There's so much truth to that. Napoleon Hill, I love reading his books. And one of the things that he shared is that when something really bad happens, there is inside of it a seed for equal or greater opportunity. And you have to be on the lookout for it. As a business owner, I'm looking strategically, intentionally for the pivot. I'm basically saying, world, reveal your biggest problem I can solve, and therein lies the most important pivot that I can make. Must number 6, you have to stay close to your sales team and your sales function. You know, it's strange. A lot of people, a lot of entrepreneurs, they have ideas that come from the service they want to provide. They're thinking like the artist, like, what do I want to give the world? And then they focus on fulfillment. But don't forget that every business starts with marketing, then something must be sold so that something can be fulfilled. Most people make the mistake of putting all of their passion and energy on fulfillment. You've got to stay close to the selling process and even marketing, because if either of those two functions goes downhill, then I don't care if you have the cure for cancer, no one is ever going to know about it. Don't get hung up on the product. Make sure that you stay close to your sales team. Make sure you stay close to that marketing function, because as long as you have an abundance of leads flowing, as long as you're making sure your sales team is literally sharpening the saw and staying cutting edge, then you're going to have a lot of product to fulfill. My 7th and final must for today has to do as an entrepreneur, whether it's time to literally invent something new or make something existing better. It's called optimization. And I have to tell you, some of the biggest mistakes I've made in business is always perpetually launching the next new thing. I'm going to create something new. But you know what's really expensive in business? It's called R&D, and it stands for research and development. It is insanely expensive. And so literally for years, I was producing a loss. I wasn't even making money in my business because I always got so excited about, what if we created this? What about this new service? What if we did this? And it took one of my mentors, Tony Robbins, to literally, I should say metaphorically, slap me in the face and say, Kris, the money as an entrepreneur is an optimization. If you have a current product that is good, then you should be thinking, how do I tweak it to make it better? Because a tweak is this much effort and R&D is this much effort. And you can tweak your price point, you can add more value, you can give more away, you can create a slight spin-off. And through optimization, I've been able to literally help my company double, triple, quadruple, and then all over again, double, triple, quadruple. And the big lesson that I've learned is that sometimes the solution to making more money is not creating a new shiny toy. It's literally taking the existing one and just asking, how do I make it better, more valuable? And that, my friends, has made me way more money focusing on optimization than trying to create something new. What I've really been sharing with you today are my standards. And it's strange, but most entrepreneurs don't have standards. They literally are so busy experimenting and trying so many different things, and a lot of things aren't working and a few things are. But once you develop standards for your time, what you say yes to, what you say no to, today I've shared with you my 7 standards. These standards have helped me go from being frankly a really nincompoop of a business owner and an entrepreneur to now having a track record of success upon success upon success. And I hope that today's information will help you do the same. If you're watching this video and you're like, okay, I just need to find the right idea that matches Kris's standards, and if you don't know what that is, I'm going to invite you to click the link below. There's a variety of businesses that I've tested that I think any entrepreneur can set their hand to that wheel and have tremendous success. I'm talking about fully replacing careers and job income, supplementing your income. But even if you want to get more wild than making $5,000 or $10,000 a month, if you're saying, but Kris, what if I want a taste of the glory, like $50,000 a month? If you want to make $100,000 a month, you want to actually make $1 million a year. If you're interested in that or setting your sights higher, then I definitely recommend clicking the link below, filling out your information, talking with one of my income coaches to help you as a budding or existing entrepreneur learn how to kill it with your next venture. Bushy. Sometimes being a business owner can feel like you're spinning out of control, but you know what? It's all part of the journey. Click the link below. Make sure we get a chance to connect on some of the most brilliant business ideas out there. Make sure you are a subscriber. I got videos like this helping develop your financial genius every day.